How often do you get to go out and hunt with your attorneys? Well, I have two attorneys who become really good friends. Mike Oropallo, Rick Capozza. They do so much for this industry behind the scenes. They're involved in a lot of organizations that really help us protect our rights and stay in the field. And this annual hunt they do is for clients, people in the industry, getting all of us together and getting us out in the field. It's just an incredible weekend.
We had a single bird come out. It turned out to be a long-beard. But we've got about, I'm gonna guess, 4 or 5 birds gobbling over here.
So in addition to being a bow hunter, I am a partner at the law firm of Barkley Damon. Rick Capozza and I, both based in the Syracuse office, are lifelong hunters, outdoorsmen, and give a lot back to the to conservation wildlife in the industry. We started out doing mainly waterfowl hunting, but eventually we moved on to turkey hunts, and it was a way to, thank our clients, but also sit down with them in a more informal setting, recognize what they're interested in, both in the law, but also in the outdoors.
Deer are about 75 yards, and he's just behind him. Just running this way.
So I get to hunt with my buddy Mike. I've hunted all over the world with him. We've been to Greenland, Canada. We've hunted, throughout the U.S. In fact, he got his first black bear in New Jersey with me. And, it's great to be behind the camera, get to witness that. So we got these birds gobbling, and we hear them in the distance. They're working their way towards us. Now, these hens come in just perfectly, right to the decoy. They're right there, and we're sitting there going, you can literally reach outside of the blind and grab one of these hens by the neck. That's how close they were.
Get ready.
They get to less than 20 yards, and they're gobbling, just hammering. And we have a camera on a tripod. I got a second camera, and I'm just out my window. I can see them perfectly, but where Mike's sitting to my right, he can't see them. And it's funny because you can just hear me going, Mike, they're right there, one more step, and I can't see them. They're one more step, they're right there.
He's coming, he's coming. Right into your sight.
The thing about turkey hunting is it's an exciting time. And you would think that the only people that we invite to these hunts are lifelong hunters. We've been able to introduce hunting, and particularly turkey hunting, to people that may have been hunters, may not have been turkey hunters, but really to see what the passion is all about.
We just sat there, these birds just hammering less than 20 yards in front of us. Mike had no shot. Again, it was just a great morning, and I get to experience that with my friend.
So one of the reasons why we got just the one window open over here is because with the light that comes in, especially the lights coming in this way, we try to make sure that we minimize the light. So when you're in here and you're drawing at a turkey that's, 10, 15 yards away, you don't want them to see any movement inside the blind. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Now, that's why we opened up this window over here just now, is that if you don't get the birds over here, typically you're going to get the birds over here, but with the way it's gone this morning, the birds will probably be right there. It's turkey hunting. It's a good bird, too. Well, we just saw 2 more time come out at the end of the field. Started coming up this way, and they're working their way across. They don't want anything to do with it.
What we like to do is just, get an informal setting to where we can talk about life, law, and the outdoors.
Had some birds pitch down. First light, they're out in the field, they're gobbling. Kind of bypassed my decoys. We can hunt till 12 o'clock here. I think if I sit tight, that one of them is eventually going to commit and come in. I don't see a lot of hens with them. Hopefully they'll work their way this way.
Now, I've not always been successful. I'm hunting with a bow, but the truth is I've always seen birds, not always gotten the shot. The point is we get to spend a great time with all these guys in the field.